Okay, that's it. That's it. If you keep doing that, you're not gonna record the video. You're gonna keep looking at your hair. And you're newing. I saw you. I just saw you new. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. My name is Naisha and I'm unemployed. I do not have a job. Yes, that is right. I used to have one though, yeah, but I quit. And I know you may be asking yourselves, you quit your job in this economy? Yeah. I mean, what can I say? It's true. I guess you can
call me irresponsible.
But I've been trying to make things right. I've been looking for other jobs, applying to other jobs, and now I'm doing the best thing that an unemployed person can do. Retelling a series of stories of when I used to be employed. And if the people yearn for it, I will consider making a part 2. I can tell you about my most recent job and why I had a very good reason to quit. A very good reason. So, without further ado, let's begin. I thought it made sense to arrange these stories chronologically to some degree, starting with my first ever job. For context, I am originally from Puerto Rico, and I moved to the US when I was I moved to the US when I was 20, and this happened during the last semester of my sophomore year. I decided to get a job. After much searching, I was able to find a job, and it was advertised as a receptionist job. I went to the interview, and when I got there, I realized that I already knew the guy that was interviewing me. We had taken a couple of classes together, which that was kind of like the first red flag, because how come you're about my age and you're already running an entire office? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I get some people are successful, but that was just strange. It was just strange. Like, what is going on? The interview was posted under the name Vector INC, but during the interview, I come to realize this was actually a subsidiary for Cutco Corporations, also known as Cutco. What a mouthful, right? Cutco. If you don't know what Cutco is, well, it is a company that has been accused several times of being an MLM, or a multi-level marketing scheme. The company has paid millions of dollars in lawsuits alleging deceptive recruiting practices. They do sell products like cutlery, utensils, and all that jazz, but they derive a great portion of their sales from new employees, their families, and their friends, which is exactly what I was doing. The receptionist job that I'm telling you about was actually like our recruiter job. People would either call or we would call them to set up an interview, a job interview. The first day, legit, we were asked to share our entire contact list in our phone. You know how when you do a group project and you share your phone with the people on your group, and then you never speak again after that? You would have to call those people.
You're so-and-so's friend. She's working for the company. Like, she said you would be a really great person for this role.
It was awful. It was awful. But anyways, those are not even the real stories. That was just the context. I'm sorry I have this bad habit of over-explaining, but I just didn't want to be like, yeah, I work for Cutco. You don't know what that is? Google it. They're giving you homework. But anyways. Don't even look at me, I'm sorry. Oh my god. I was sitting crisscross applesauce and my leg felt numb. Se me durmió la pierna. Se me durmió la pierna, una cosa cabrona. I don't know why I felt like I had to explain that. Oh my god, I always over-explain, but whatever. If you see a different angle, it's because my leg felt numb. I was trying to readjust, and then coffee spilled all over my freaking thing. So now we can go on to the first story.
Oh, yeah.
So, one time, I went to the bathroom, and this was a bathroom that we shared with an entire office building, like a commercial office building. And so I am really peeing my pants. I have a really bad habit of waiting until the last minute to go to the bathroom. I'm like, I need to finish this task, and then I will reward myself like going to the bathroom and peeing. So I am just tunnel vision towards the bathroom, towards that stall. I'm not even paying attention to what's around me. I'm just there, I'm peeing, I feel the peace of finally being able to urinate. And then as I'm opening my eyes, I see something on the stall door. I'm like, what is that? That kind of looks like, oh, it can't be. And I'm seeing that there's stains on the floor as well. No, there's stains everywhere. There's little poop stains everywhere. On the floor, on the walls of the stall, like a ventilation window, there was poop stains there too. And I was like, what in the actual heck? And that was not my first experience with a poop-covered bathroom. Something happened at my 7th birthday. I'm not gonna get into details right now. If you want me to get into details, then like and subscribe so I can know that you want me to share my little story. But I was like, no way, this cannot be happening. And the thing is, it was not, it was not my last experience with poop in like employment bathroom. I don't know, it just follows me everywhere. But anyways, the whole stall was covered in poop. That's it. The whole stall was covered in poop. So I grabbed a little toilet paper and I opened the stall, washed my hands, whatever, and I ran towards my office. I've been at this place for less than 6 months. And imagine you having to tell your manager, hey, there's excrement. Hey, there's a little bit of poopy covering the bathroom stalls. We need to let maintenance know. We need to tell them. So that's my first story. That's my first official story for this video. I hope you liked it. And this was almost like 10 years ago. Oh my god. This was almost like 10 years ago.
Mierda. Excreta. Poop. Shit. All over the wall.
That's crazy. But yeah, I was verklempt. That really stays with you. On to the next Cut Coco story. Allegedly. I don't want to get sued. But you know what? I'll sue you. I'll sue you, Cutco, because of emotional damage. My lawyer will be in touch. Another story is the time that I got locked in. Not locked out. I was locked in. I was locked out from the inside. The thing is that I was working late on a Sunday and my boss wasn't there. He was like 2 hours away, and I later came to find out that I was the only one in the building. So I finished my shift and I'm walking out. And when I go to open the door, I'm like, and then I look, and there's a big old shade and lock at the door. I was like, oh, there's gotta be another way for me to get out of here. There's gotta be a back door or something. So I was like, guess I'll just call my manager. So I give him a call. And he's like,
well, I mean, San Juan, so you can stay and sleep at the office? Or there's a fire escape. I don't know where it is. I think it's in the last floor of the building, but yeah. Bye.
That was all the help he offered. Either stay and sleep in this building alone, or try to find a fire escape and crawl your way out. I ended up going to the last floor. I found a fire escape, and I was essentially in the roof of the building, and there was this tiny ass staircase, but it was like a metal grid, and I was wearing high heels, not platforms. It was like freaking stilettos almost. So I had to be very careful going down. So it wasn't, it wasn't like X Games or anything, but it was a little bit, you never expect to leave your shift through a fire escape when there's no fire.
Y me dejaron encerrada dentro del edificio. ¿Qué hago? So, me mandaron a salir por el fire escape. Oh my gosh! ¡Yay! Real, esto me está pasando, que yo tengo que salir por aquí en taco.
Anyways, that is all for my first job. Let's go to my second job. Taco Bell. Yo quiero. So I started working at Taco Bell November of 2017. 1 week after arriving to the USA. I was 20. Okay, I just wanted to say that. The first Taco Bell story, is about one of my coworkers, Mexican, Republican, conservative, Trump supporter, and he wore his MAGA hat almost every day to work, which I'm like, that has to be not legal. But even though I wholeheartedly disagreed with his political views, we kind of still bonded, especially when we would talk about the pop girlies like Ariana Grande, Mariah Carey, Rihanna. And one day, we were at work. It was a slow shift, and he was working the drive-thrus. And all of a sudden, he tells me, "Oh, can you take a picture of me?" I was like, "Oh, sure." So he's like by the drive-thru window, just like striking a pose, and I'm like, "Move your head a little bit towards the left. The sun is really hitting your face nicely, blah, 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 blah." And then as I'm taking the picture with his phone, I see a Grindr notification pop up on his phone. When I saw that Grindr notification on his phone, I was like, did that really just happen? Have I actually understood? I'm not judging, because I'm queer. I'm not judging you at all. I was just surprised because I was like, you are super conservative. You have expressed that you don't like homosexuality. You think it's a sin. You're a Trump supporter. You wear your MAGA hat to work. But you have a Grindr account. But I never said a word to him. I pretended like it didn't happen. But after that, the times that he would drive me home after work and we would just sing Fantasy by Mariah Carey on and on and on, it just clicked. I'm sorry. I'm like shiny as fuck. Anyways, the reason why I left Taco Bell is that I was attacked by one of my coworkers. And I say attack in quotations because it felt like an attack to me, but I'm kind of sure that the person was not trying to attack me. I just think he wasn't in the right state of mind. At this point, I had been promoted to shift leader. If the manager or assistant manager weren't there, I was in charge. I called the shots. On this particular shift, I was on the top of the chain of command. There was this one coworker who, he was a pretty chill guy. He was nice, but that area, there was a big issue with substance abuse, which is pretty sad. It kind of created sort of like a hectic work environment. Myself and a couple of other co-workers, we had raised the concern that this particular guy would come into work a little bit sketch. This wasn't just going to work high as a kite. This was like erratic. So this night that I was in charge, the guy was just acting a little too energetic, a little too out there. And it was time for his lunch break. He clocks out. He goes back to the line to make himself a burrito. So he's doing that. And you can tell he's like a little bit jittery. And at some point he's making the burrito and he just drops it all on the floor. And I was like, you know what? Just don't worry about it. I'll pick it up for you. Just go sit down. Just tell me what you want in the burrito and I'll make it for you and I'll bring it to the counter so you can pick it up. And after he comes back from break, he's still acting weird. He is overly expressing gratitude to me for making him the burrito. I was like, sure, no problem. He was just like all up in my face, like, thank you, and I don't know how, at some point, I was backed up into a corner at the back of the Taco Bell, and this guy just proceeds to punch me repeatedly in the thigh, like a very jokey way, but I did not take it as a joke. Like, that was not a joke to me. I was terrified. Mind you, I was 21 at this point, and I think this guy was like 35, so like 10 plus years older than me. I'm backed up into a corner, and he's like punching my thigh. So after that happened, I'm like, okay, this guy, I don't think this guy is okay, because the way that he did it was kind of like maniacal, like in a maniacal way. He was just crazily punching my thighs, and I was really scared. So I called my manager. It was his day off, but I called him and I explained what happened. And I essentially was like, see, like, we told you that something like this was going to happen. And he was like, well, I'll see if I can go, but you can't leave because you're in charge and you can't leave the store alone. So I left. I left the store. I left everyone in that store and I ran across the street. I took all my stuff and I ran across the street. There was another fast food restaurant across the street. So I just went there, called my mom, and I just cried until my Uber went to pick me up. And that's the story of how I quit Taco Bell. The first time. Yep, after that, I went back to Taco Bell. I really needed the money. Messy, I know. Chili's! Hi, welcome to Chili's. So my first Chili's story begins with a middle-aged couple that came for lunch. And then, as if that wasn't awkward enough, the lady just randomly lost the chip of her phone. You know those little chips that come inside, like, some phones that are, like, this tiny? She lost it. And I somehow got roped into looking for the chip. So, with flipping the cushions, I'm on my hands and knees looking for it. At this point, she had the entire contents of her purse just spilled over the table. The chip never appeared, and they left. And I think they left me no tip. Whatever. Moving on. The last story for today. Super, super embarrassing for me. But I learned something new, so yay. So it was a huge table of like 10 people. So I get there and I ask them if they want any drinks or appetizers. And this gentleman says, I would like a Caesar. And I'm like, you got it. Your wish is my command. Now, I'm gonna ask you. I want you to type in the comments right now. If you were a waitress and someone asked you for a Caesar, what would you bring them? I'll give you some time. Take your time. If you said Caesar salad, then you're wrong. What do you mean Caesar salad? You're stupid. If you said a Roman emperor, then you're also wrong. You want to know what the real answer is? Drum roll, please. A cocktail. A drink. That's what they call, it's like a Bloody Mary. I would have never thought of that. It's definitely a regional thing. I think it's upper Midwest Canada kind of thing. So imagine I bring him out his little Caesar salad and I'm like, here's your Caesar, sir. He's like looking at me like with utter disgust. It's like, what is that? With such mockery. And I was like, your Caesar salad, sir? Like, what? He was like, no, I ordered a Caesar. And I'm just staring at him like, a Caesar? Yeah, Caesar salad. He was like, the drink. So I go to the bartender and I'm like, do you know what a Caesar is? And she kindly explained a little bit about what a Caesar was, but I definitely had to Google that shit after. I was very surprised. And that's how I learned that there is a drink, a cocktail named Caesar. Stupid name for a cocktail. Am I right? Who's with me? Wow, this was tiring. I started recording this video, the sun was still out. And now, there's no sun. So thank you for sticking around. My brain is mush right now. I don't know how people do this for a living, but what am I talking about? I'm unemployed. So I hope this was as enjoyable to you as it was for me. Again, thank you for sticking around. If you have any requests, leave them in the comments below. My wish is your command. And now if you ask me for a Caesar in the comments, I'll bring you a drink or a salad, whatever you want. I'll do whatever you want. As long as you subscribe, like this video, and be happy. Just be happy. Yeah.